I never imagined that the woman I trusted for 15 years would become the reason I stopped believing in love, but what she did shattered everything I thought we had. And when she came back begging for another chance, she had no idea I was no longer the man she had walked away from. My name is Daniel Carter. I'm 42 years old, and until last year, I truly believed I had the perfect marriage. My wife Emily and I had been together since college. She was intelligent, beautiful, and had a warm personality that could brighten any room. People admired our relationship. We had a beautiful home, a comfortable life, and a marriage that seemed unbreakable from the outside. But behind closed doors, things had already started falling apart long before I realized it. Emily had changed. Working late became part of her routine. Her phone was always locked and always placed face down. Whenever I asked about it, she would smile, call me paranoid, kiss my forehead, and tell me I was overthinking everything. And every single time, I believed her. Because when you truly love someone, you choose trust, even when your instincts are desperately trying to warn you otherwise. Then one night, everything collapsed. She came home late again. It was well past midnight. I was sitting on the couch with the television on, pretending to watch it, but in reality, I was just waiting for her. When she walked through the door, something immediately felt different. She didn't smell like her usual perfume. There was a scent I had never noticed before. "Long day?" I asked. "Yeah," she replied with a sigh, carefully avoiding my eyes. Something inside me finally broke. I can't explain why, but that night I decided to trust my instincts. When she went to take a shower, she left her phone on the table. For the first time in 15 years, I broke my own rule. I picked it up. What I found destroyed me. There were dozens of messages from a man named Ryan. They weren't innocent conversations. They were intimate, detailed, and impossible to misunderstand. They had been seeing each other for months, maybe even longer. There were pictures, plans for meeting up, and even jokes about me, about how completely clueless I was. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. It felt like someone was crushing my heart. When Emily came out of the shower, I was still sitting there, holding her phone. She froze. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Finally, I asked the only question that mattered. "How long?" She didn't even try to lie. "6 months," she whispered. 6 months. Half a year of lies, half a year of pretending, half a year of sharing a bed with me while giving herself to someone else. That night, something inside me died. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I simply stood up, looked her straight in the eyes, and quietly said, "We're done." At first, she didn't believe me. Emily thought I would eventually calm down and forgive her, just like I had forgiven every small mistake before. But this wasn't a small mistake. The divorce happened quickly. It was painful, but it was clean. I gave her everything she was legally entitled to, but nothing beyond that. Then I cut every connection. I blocked her everywhere because I needed distance. I needed peace. The months that followed were the hardest of my life. Some nights I couldn't sleep. Some days I couldn't concentrate on anything. The silence inside the house was almost unbearable, but little by little, I started putting myself back together. I joined a gym. I returned to hobbies I had forgotten. I reconnected with friends I had neglected for years. Most importantly, I found myself again. The man who depended on Emily for happiness no longer existed. In his place stood someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who finally understood his own worth. Then, exactly 1 year later, she came back. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon. I had just returned home when I saw her standing outside my house. Emily. She looked completely different. The confident, radiant woman I remembered was gone. She looked exhausted, broken. "Daniel, please, can we talk?" she asked, her voice shaking. Every painful memory rushed back into my mind, but I remained calm. "What do you want?" I asked coldly. Tears filled her eyes. "I made a terrible mistake. Ryan left me. None of it was real. You were real. You always were." I almost laughed. She stepped a little closer. I miss us. I miss you. I know I hurt you, but we can fix this. We spent 15 years together. That has to mean something. She was right. It did mean something. It meant I had given her 15 years of loyalty, and she threw it away for 6 months of betrayal. I looked at her carefully, really looked at her, and in that moment I realized something that surprised even me. I didn't love her anymore. I forgave you a long time ago, I said quietly. Her face immediately filled with hope. You did? Yes, I answered with a gentle nod. But forgiving you doesn't mean I want you back. The hope disappeared from her face instantly. You didn't just cheat on me, Emily, I continued. You destroyed everything we spent years building. After that, I had to rebuild my entire life from nothing. I'm never putting myself through that again. She began crying harder and reached for my hand. I stepped back. I'm not the man you left, I said, and you're no longer the woman I fell in love with. There was nothing else that needed to be said. I walked past her, unlocked my front door, and went inside, leaving the past exactly where it belonged, behind me. And for the first time in a very long time, I finally felt free.